Would you like to swing on a star, carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a mule? Now a mule is an animal with long funny ears. He kicks up at anything he hears.
Greetings, everyone. You are watching this vid because you are enrolled in one of 3 courses that I'm teaching this semester, either Elements of Music or History of Rock and Roll or Jazz History. So I'm very excited to have you joining me, and I use this introduction video to introduce you to myself and to a little bit about the way I teach and a little bit about the way these online courses are designed. So my name is Dr. Hendrickson. You can call me Dr. H. Everybody does. And I'm going to be your host for the next about 12, 13 weeks for these courses. So the other thing I wanted to mention in this introduction vid is how sorry I am that it's taken so long to get to this point. There's just been a whole slew of technical glitches, as well as glitches in ordering the textbooks and just getting things started late. So I do apologize for all the delays. Hopefully those have all been worked out and we can just proceed normally. One thing I would like to mention, just to reiterate to each of you, is these are online courses. If you have not already discovered it, we don't meet on a regular basis, right? There is no physical meeting time, nor is there an online meeting time. So we all just simply are responsible for getting our work done, as our various courses have schedules for these assignments on when they start, when they're due. Okay, so just keep an eye on those calendars and schedules and you're going to be fine. The next thing that is common to all of the online courses that I teach is that there are 2 sides to the story, right? There is the e-learning side and there is the Connect for Education, or our online textbook side. So a little bit about that. On the e-learning side, this is where you're going to find things like course documents, the syllabus. You're going to find your grades. You're going to find announcements. You're going to find things like the course calendars, something called the detailed course calendar or schedule. And you're also going to find the chapters or section breakdown modules. These are things that just sort of, you can click on these modules and they'll tell you what is in each section or what is in each chapter, and if there is a discussion or some type of assignment associated with it, that type of thing. So that's pretty much what you will find in the way of what is on our online text through e-learning. So hang on. And then also on e-learning, you will find our discussion topics, which are also part of our assignment process. And then we have what's called the Connect for Education, or our online textbook side. And it's on the online textbook side where you're going to find all of your assignments, all of the reading, listening, if you have listening assignments, and so forth. So that's where the bulk of the work will be done, is on your online text, which is why you hear me say more than once, you can't successfully complete the course without purchasing that online textbook access code. You've got to be able to do those assignments, and those assignments can only be done on the online text. You will have all of your quizzes, all of your exams will all be on the Connect for Education online textbook site, and your grades. So there are 2 components to the grades, obviously the e-learning side grade and the textbook side grade. Which one's which? Well, here's the thing. Your Connect for Education or your online textbook side grade will be the most up to date with respect to the assignments and the readings and so forth that are on your online text. The other side of that is if you have essays that are part of your assignment. Some of my courses require you to write short essays based upon maybe listening or viewing something. And those grades will be posted a little bit differently. They're posted on your online text, but only after they've been graded. So just be patient, because this is kind of a longer process. And your grade may not be reflected as quickly as you would like on e-learning. This is just a process that we're still working through, trying to get it so that the two things are linked together. And unfortunately, at this stage, there is no way to do that. So a couple of things then about me. Just remember that if you are at any time you have any questions or issues about any of the material of the course or any particular aspect of the course, the best way to get in touch with me is through email. I can guarantee you an answer within 24 to 48 hours, except on the weekends. That's the only time I can't make that guarantee. But most of the time, if you email me, I can get back with you within 24 to 48 hours. The only exception to that rule, if you email me on a Friday, I'm probably not going to get back to you until the following Monday. So that's just because I'm never around on the weekends. But I will be able to answer you as quickly as possible within that, within the framework of the week. Part of the reason for this is I'm only in my office 2 days a week this semester, so it's a little bit more difficult for me to get things from you in the way of like phone messages, which, by the way, you can leave a voicemail. I will get back to you, but it's quicker if you just email me, because I can access my email from anywhere. My phone I can only access from my office. Okay, so I look forward to getting to know each of you, if only through the internet. But I also get to know you through our various discussion topics, through email conversations, things like that. So please do take part in those, and have a great semester. Now let's take a look at your individual courses. We're just going to break them down a little bit. You don't have to do anything. It'll just immediately follow after this introduction. So here we go. Okay, yeah, so this is Music Elements, and one of the first things I say to all of my students is, if you have not already done so, you got to purchase that online textbook access code, and you must register it. You can't get to the coursework until you do this. So if you're having difficulty getting the online textbook, please get in touch with me. Let me know. I believe in this course in Elements, MUS 100, I believe everyone's got the textbook, so I don't think that's an issue. But if it is, please get in touch with me as soon as possible and let me know what's going on. I encourage you, if you have not already done so, many of you have, spent some time looking around our e-learning or D2L site just to kind of see how things are laid out. You'll find that the things to look for are the syllabus, of course, and of course that detailed course calendar. You'll see that all of our sections in our online text are broken down for you in that detailed course calendar. And you'll note that all of these sections have start dates and end dates. So understand that you've got quite a bit of time for each of these sections to complete everything that you need to complete, all of the assignments, the quizzes and so forth, worksheets, within that time frame. And usually I try to give between 3 and 4 weeks per section. And yes, there is some overlap on that, but that's just so you can have some time to get things done. So please take advantage of the time. Don't wait until the last minute to submit your work. You've really got to use your time wisely. If you wait until the last minute, it's just untelling that there are things that can happen to prevent you from getting your stuff in. So please do use your time wisely. You'll notice in the content tab There is a module called Useful Stuff. You might want to take a look at that. The reason I bring this up is that, sometimes our textbook isn't enough. Sometimes the concepts that are being presented, and by the way, music is not an easy concept. Music, this particular course is really an elementary theory, music theory course. So we deal more with the mechanics of music, and sometimes that can be pretty hairy and detailed. So if the book isn't quite clear in its description of what it is that you're being asked to do or asked to learn, then I encourage you to look at this Useful Stuff module, and in it you will see a link to a site called musictheory.net. And that is an extraordinarily useful website because it contains all of the items that we're going to be learning this semester and much, much more. And it's laid out for you in a completely different manner. It's presented to you in a completely different manner. So sometimes that's all it takes, is just to have it explained to you a little bit differently to make things click. Another thing in the Useful Stuff module that you'll find is a course pack. This is a PDF file of a course pack that I offered to my face-to-face students. You can print it up if you wish, or just leave it in the PDF format you can view. It's just one more way of looking at the material that's being presented to you. It's not presented in the same manner that our online text does, but sometimes that is also helpful, just to have one more angle or one more view. It's the same material and the same principles are at work. It's just a different way of looking at it. So I hope that you will make use of that useful stuff, and that will be helpful to you if you do get into a spot to where you're just not understanding the material that's being presented to you. Also, by this point, most of you, if not all, have already taken part in our first online discussion topic, and that was introductions, of course. So just watch for those. There will be other discussion topics that you will need to take place or need to take part in. So just watch for those. I will send out emails when those are ready to go. Let's see. Then, of course, you want to take a look at our online text and get to know how to navigate around it. Now, by now, the majority of you have already done this, but let's just take a minute and take a look at some of the features that you may not have caught in your exploration of our online text. Okay? Okay, greetings, Music Elements peeps. So this is probably all superfluous for many of you. I'm sure all of you have taken some time, those of you that have purchased the online textbook. I don't really know of anyone in our course that has not yet, but just in case, here you go. When you log in to the C4E link, this is what you see. You'll notice that it has a Getting Started section, Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, and so forth. And these, of course, all correspond to the same section breakdowns in the modules on our e-learning site. So just a little bit about each section. When you click on one, you see that there is a section overview. There's an outline and an objectives. These are really, you don't have to read these, but if you want a little bit more study or overview, there they are. And then you just click on each class. And when you do, for example, here's the introduction. You see here that it is laid out for you in this manner. And notice how you have these orange arrows on either side. There's also one at the bottom to take you back up to the top of the page. This is just simply enabling you to go to the next section pretty quickly and easily. Obviously, you can scroll down, and I should mention here that if you are using a tablet or a cell phone to view your online text, you're probably going to want to make sure that you do scroll all the way down. Notice here, this is pretty straightforward. It's going to ask you some questions, Anytime you see a speaker, there you go. You can press the speaker. There's also, of course, the Show Me button. Anytime that there is a concept that is being demonstrated and you may have difficulty understanding that concept, you might see something like this that says Show Me, and it will do so. It shows you what pitches are being played, where they are in retrospect to the keyboard. So it also enables you to play these keys. So a little bit more about that. You will notice here, this is giving you a display of a keyboard. You can actually play this keyboard. And just take note that if you hover over a key, it shows you in that little window what note it is and what octave it is. Now, this in itself is pretty cool, but let me show you this. Down here in the left-hand corner of our screen, notice this keyboard button. If you hit the plus sign, that brings up your own keyboard, and you can take that keyboard and do the same thing. Anytime you hover over a note, it tells you what that note is and what octave it is. Now, when you're studying about the keyboard, the usefulness of that will become clear. So I hope this gives you a little bit of a breakdown of what our text is, what it looks like. And again, these arrows are just simply ways to navigate. If you go back to the course name, so you just click on that, it will take you back to the opening screen, and it might take a little bit of time depending on how fast or slow your internet is. But here again, you see all of these sections outlined for you. I might also note you have the final exam here and the midterm exam are here. And any quizzes that are within a section are going to be found here. So let's take a look, for example, at Class 7. Notice you have worksheets. You have something called practice worksheets. So if you click on that, it says this is a non-graded practice worksheet on rhythm. The quiz opens and will remain open until blah, blah, blah. You can see how all of this is laid out. And then you can attempt to do this. But when you do attempt this one, this is not going to count towards your grade. This is literally just for you to practice. And so when you take these quizzes, and the actual quizzes work the same way. So here's question 1. The music symbol above represents, and then you have these 4 choices: a whole rest, an eighth rest, a half rest, or a quarter rest. Well, I happen to know this is a quarter rest. And going on down, you have all these other choices. Once you have finished your quiz, at the very end, it'll show you what answers you have, and then you can submit it all to finish it. And it says here, once you submit, you will no longer be able to change your answers for this attempt, and that's okay. So you submit all and finish, and then it shows you what you got correct. In this case, there's a green check mark, or what you might have gotten wrong. And if it's wrong, it's outlined in red and has a red check mark. So hopefully that is informative for you, and you get to understand how all of this works. Okay, folks, that is pretty much all there is to our online text. Okay, folks, so hopefully that has clarified some things for you, and you have some idea of how to use some of the tools in our online text. And I do encourage you to watch the short little vids that are in the system overviews and introductions to sections, because they are helpful. They are very short, and do understand when it says, like, for example, here, listen to the lecture. Well, essentially, all that is doing is talking to you, telling you, reading for you.
The
really.
keyboard 1. Introduction, keys, and
As you can
pitch.
see in here, it is just simply reading for you what you see in your screen. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, just let me know. Shoot me an email. All right, and now back to our vid. Okay, so hopefully you found those useful, and you'll be able to utilize those tools. If at any point you have any difficulties with the online text or any aspect of the course, please do not hesitate to contact me. You may notice that there have been some adjustments to some deadlines, due dates, and so forth. This was to accommodate folks that were unable to purchase the online textbook access code. So I've increased the due dates for some of these things so that we could all get to the same place, or that we're not, all of us playing catch up. So if there are any other changes, any other deadline changes, I will notify you as soon as those happen. A little bit about grading. One thing you need to be aware of, I'm a pretty laid back guy, okay? So when it comes to grading, you should know that I grade on effort and participation just as much as I do correct answers. Do I want you to do things the right way? Of course I do. But if you can get to the end result, however you get there, that's your business. I'm mostly interested in your effort that you put into it and the participation that you show. If you are communicating with me, if you are participating in the online discussions, if you're doing the online textbook, materials, the worksheets, the practice worksheets, the exams, the quizzes, and so forth, you're going to make an A. Don't let numbers or test scores or quiz results be what deters you or makes you go forward or holds you back. Those are fine, and of course they do help us to assess how a student is doing, but I am more interested in your participation and the effort that you put in. So I can't underestimate that enough. Don't let 100% test scores be your guide. That's not really what's important to me. What's important to me is that you learn and that you're learning something about the concept. Also, what's important to me is if you are having difficulty, if I see, for example, that your worksheets are really, really low, your quiz scores are really, really low, I'm going to contact you and I'm going to say, hey, I'm noticing you're having a little bit of trouble in this area. How can I help? What can I do? And we can do this in a number of ways. I can set up a time to meet with you one-on-one in my office on the main campus. Or if that's not suitable for you, we can work out some type of Zoom meeting or other type of video chat where we are, talking one-on-one. So please don't let things get out of hand. I'll be very happy to help you, and you'll find I'm a very approachable guy. Okay, so I've already talked about using your time wisely. I look forward to working with each of you and getting to know each of you, as I said in the intro video. These discussion topics are kind of fun because you get to find out a little bit more about each other and about how you feel about the topic that we're discussing. And you might be surprised about what topics in our discussions we go for. They're not all about music theory. Sometimes they're just simply about relative questions, how music relates to you and your own individual life. Okay, so that just about does it, folks. Again, if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to get in touch with me. Okay, have a wonderful semester.
Love makes me treat you the way that I do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? There's nothing too good for a girl that's so true. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? I bought you a fur coat for Christmas, a diamond ring, a Cadillac car, and everything. Love makes me treat you the way that I do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you?